And then there were two. Just 2 weeks are all that's left in the West Virginia high school football season. And a pair of teams with only 2 wins battle tonight in hopes of a strong 2023 finish. The Riverside Warriors are at home going up against the Panthers from Lincoln County. Each team is treating this weekend and next week's season finale as their playoff games. It's the fourth meeting all time between Lincoln County and Riverside, and we've got it for you next on our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. We welcome you inside Warrior Stadium on the campus of Riverside High School in Quincy, West Virginia, the eastern end of Kanawha County, where tonight the Warriors entertain the Panthers of Lincoln County High School. It is game 9 of the season for these two. The hope is to finish strong with 4-6 records at the moment. Each are 2-6. Greetings from Quincy, along with former 2-time first-team All-Stater and championship coach Jim Mahan, our wonderful F&R crew, Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us. Well, the coaches told us during the week, Jim, that they are not going to the postseason, so they will treat these final 2 weeks of the year like playoff games.
Yeah, with both teams having identical 2-6 records, you're going to see a lot of competitive football out there tonight.
Let's talk about players to watch in this game, and we begin with the visitors from Lincoln County, the Panthers, and they like to have things happen with this guy operating the football. Lucas Johaim, a junior quarterback. Coach Brad Likas terms him a terrific athlete and feels the future is bright for Johaim and the Panther program. Flip it over to Riverside, and the Warriors are led by the versatile Bryce Green this season. He has lined up a variety of ways. He's ran the football, he's thrown the football, he's caught the football. He's an outstanding defender. And, Jim, he has ran 2 kickoffs back for touchdowns this season. So certainly the Warriors will be looking for a lot out of number 21. Well, they have met 3 times, and Riverside has captured victory in all the matchups. They are in search of a 4th tonight, while Lincoln County aims to end the streak. The coin toss and opening kickoff are just moments away here at Warrior Stadium in Quincy as we bring you our latest edition of the Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Eyewitness Sports. Alex Banks, and Lincoln County's offense will go to work. And Jim will get a chance to see Lucas Johaim right out of the gate.
Yeah, Johaim, he's a pretty special player. And plus, you had alluded to it earlier in the program, Mark, just a junior. So he's really going to count on him to come back next year if he grows this year. And this ought to be really this is super atmosphere for Friday night football.
Lincoln County lost to Princeton and Roane County and then defeated Ripley. Fell in 4 straight games and then picked up that win over Braxton County. Johaim awaits the snap and will hand it off, and Riverside is waiting on Drew Banks. 5'10", 170, a junior. Good defense there by Caleb Shanklin for the Warriors.
Yeah, the guys stayed home on the interior even after that motion, the circle around slot motion. They just decided to stay home and fought off those blocks to get no gain or very little to speak of.
Yeah, they'll officially call it a 1-yard gain. It will be 2nd down and 9. Beautiful evening for football here. Final Friday in the month of October. Season winding down in the great state of West Virginia. Playoffs a couple of weeks away. Johaim awaits the snap from his center, Braylon Peters. Johaim looking to throw, dumps it off, and gets it into the hands of his receiver, but not much doing there for Braden Scarberry.
Yeah, Cochran closed on that really quick, Mark, but he had it set up, but Johaim just a little bit of time on that delay and took a little time for that motion man to come in. They had that slip screen ready, but now they're looking at 3rd and long again.
Alex Daugherty says when they first got Cochran, he says he was just a ball player, but they've really taught him some of the great mechanics of the game, and he's going to be something special, just a junior. Johaim looking to throw, 2nd and 9, fires and in the direction of Jordan Gregory, but it's going to fall incomplete. So Lincoln County wanted the football, but Riverside answers with a 3 and out.
Yeah, really nice. Good pressure on Johaim. He didn't get an opportunity to really plant that throw foot and then zip that one out in the flat. So Lincoln's ready for the first punt of the night.
Derek Atkins is the punter. And you got Bryce Green back deep. We talked about Green. He has been outstanding on special teams this season as a kick returner. He's going to let this one roll out of bounds, and they'll mark it there at around the 32-yard line. So now Riverside will go to work for the first time tonight offensively. Riverside this season, they opened with losses to Beckley, Woodrow Wilson, and Parkersburg, and then defeated St. Albans 53-0. And then it was losses to Spring Valley, Huntington, and Capital. That Capital game was sensational, 27-23. They knocked off South Charleston in a big-time way, 48-6. And last week lost to Hurricane. We know about Hurricane. Hurricane's really good, number 2 right now in AAA. And though it was a 44-7 count, Alex Daugherty said, you know what, there was a lot to build off of that game.
Well, you got a really competitive, high-ranking team, and they really, if you look at the game, Mark, the way that one transpired, they stayed with Hurricane for a pretty good while.
Look at that Riverside offense, which will change a lot. Now, we've had, looks like a penalty here at the call here.
I didn't catch it, obviously, of the 15-yard variety, so.
I'm not sure if Brian Pauly's mic is working. There's Lincoln County defensively. They like that 4-man front, 3 linebackers, and 4 in the secondary. So this will be a Service Academy look many times tonight. They'll go with that unbalanced attack and just try to get it into the hands of Green as much as possible.
Yeah, as about as much of a scrum as you're going to see, Mark. You had about 22 guys right within a 4-yard circumference of each other. So Riverside probably known more for the run. They've got Green. He's so explosive that you had talked about before. So they're going to rely on him pretty heavily.
And Green, 84 rushes, 543 yards. Leads the team defensively, 36 tackles. And so they are going to just go with that direct snap to him. And Green gets the call again and looking to bolt to the outside. Helmet will come off here. But good job there by Lincoln County defensively. Walker Atkins, defensive tackle. Brad Lykin says he's a guy who can plug holes. He just kind of got him around the ankle and hung on there and brought him down. He has to leave the game, lost his helmet, so it's going to bring up a third down here.
Yeah, you looked at earlier, you see that shifting on the offensive side with the line for the Warriors, but they ran back. Green ran back to that, actually to the short side, Mark. The balanced side was away from Riverside's bench, and he ran back to the short side. And you're going to see some of that juggling a lot tonight.
Well, it's a running team, over 1,100 yards of offense, and here is Green trying to turn the corner, and good defense there by Lincoln County. So 21 is tackled by 21, Jordan Gregory, the cornerback.
Yeah, Gregory did a good job of kind of slipping through that block and getting Green in the background for a loss. So they're going to exchange punts on the first possessions.
They're going to have Logan Tudor, the sophomore. He's back to kick it away. Long snapper is Logan Lively. Drew Banks and Zach Miller, a couple of talented kids, back deep for the Panthers. So two good defensive stops here to get this game started, one by Riverside, and then Lincoln County answers. Tudor lifting it high, and they'll just let it hit and roll. Going to fall out of bounds right around the 50-yard line. So Lincoln County going to get the football for a second time when we return here in Quincy on the campus of Riverside High School. No score between the Panthers and the Warriors. You're watching our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Eyewitness Sports. Side Warrior Stadium here in Quincy, Lincoln County with the football for a second time here tonight. 29-yard punt by Tudor, but excellent field position here for the Panthers. All white here tonight going up against the purple and black clad Riverside Warriors. Joe Haim looking to throw, got a man, and it's going to be picked off. Did he stay in bounds? He did.
That was Logan Tudor, Mark. He read that. He read the eyes of Joe Haim and got over there and closed on that. A great job tight roping there on the sideline to catch the ball. Remember in high school, you got to have both feet in bounds.
Tudor after the punt. And here you go.
Tudor
right
delivering.
Back.
He's delivering.
He is. All right, so that will put the football at the 29-yard line. So Riverside back to work.
Both of these coaches know that one of the key components, and we didn't really discuss it a lot, but one of the key components is going to be field position, because that'll dictate a lot of your play calling. And right now, Riverside started 33. Here we're starting at the 29. Lincoln County had a golden opportunity starting at the 50, but just got that pick from Tudor.
So now they will go with the more traditional look here with Riley Gilmore in at quarterback. Gilmore, number 13, 6'2", 150, sophomore. They lost Caden Ray a couple of weeks ago. Really good player. Ligament damage to his finger. Likely won't return. In fact, when the captains came out tonight, they had 4 captains. 2 were injured.
Right.
Caden Ray and Bishop Hairston, 2 really good players.
Yeah.
And they don't have either of those here tonight. And they've been without Hairston since week 1. He broke his leg in the opener. All right, no gain there. 2nd and 10. Well, Lincoln County coming. Here's Green. He's got room. Bryce Green into Lincoln County territory and not easy to bring down. Well, Banks got him around the waist and took him to the ground, but a huge chunk of yardage there by Bryce Green. A first down. 38-yard pickup.
Yeah, Mark, and that was set up by that linebacker blitz where he got sucked up in the middle and Green just bounced that thing on. Here you're going to see the linebacker sucked up in the middle. There goes Green, bounces it off tackle, just weaving through the secondary. Good stiff arm there, tough to bring down, still going, gains an extra 3 or 4 yards.
Handed off and finding yardage and taken down at the 21-yard line. Yeah, we're going to have the horse collar there as they take Green down.
And it seemed to be the only way to stop Green at this point was just a horse collaring. But, you know, the fact that they're inside the 20, it's not going to be a full 15 yards.
Our first downs being sponsored in this first and third quarters by the University of Charleston. Here's the call. You hear Brian Pauly with the call. Another look, Jim.
Yeah, he just gets around that edge, and you know when you're grabbing what you can, you just get whatever you can. It looked like he tried to let off of that a little bit, Mark, but you know damage is done.
So that was Banks who made the touchdown saving tackle before. So Montgomery under center. Sends Woods in motion, gives to Green, and they're waiting on Green, and he'll be stopped.
Yeah, Mark, that's going to be some tough sledding going up the middle. They seem to be a little bit more successful when they can get Green in some space. Not a lot of space up there between the 2 guards in the center because they're really stacking everything in there, the Panthers are.
That was Kyle Johaim who made the stop. He's the older brother of Lucas. Our Red Zone sponsor, Glenville State University. Glenville State University prepares and inspires students to be thoughtful, productive, engaged, and responsible citizens who contribute to the well-being of their community, state, nation, and world. Pioneer your future. And once more, nowhere to go for Riverside offensively.
Yeah, Dunlap was in on that when Austin. He's a senior defensive end. He just read the ball, just go to the ball. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. We talk about this, Mark, guys that get fooled because they're not really watching the ball. Just find out where the ball is, go there. Don't go where the other guy is, go where the ball is.
3rd down and 7 for Riverside. Trying to punch it in after the big run by Green. And they'll pitch it into the hands of Woods, and Woods stumbles and goes down.
Yeah, Woods is just beating himself up over that one, Mark, because he had some open field. He was about ready to make the cut, and just a little slip there. Now, they've, like you said, you mentioned earlier, they got a really good kicker.
Yep, Eli Taft, 5'6", 140, a freshman. And head coach Alex Daugherty says this individual just continues to work and work and work. Says sometimes we have to get on them about how much, you know, says, you know, you don't want that dead leg. But so Elijah Taft ready to see if he can put Riverside on the board. Casey Chapman is the snapper. DeSante McAllister is the holder. And Taft, a beauty, drills it. And Riverside strikes first here in this battle of 2 and 6 teams.
Really impressive for a freshman. What a leg that kid has. You can tell he's obviously been working, Mark. He had all the confidence in the world he was going to make that kick. You know, the components of that, you know, you have to have a good snap. You have to have a holder that can get the ball and get it down. And then the timing of the kicker to follow through on the connect and the connection they make with the ball. It's not as easy as people make it look, but Taft and his dynamic duo made it look pretty easy. 3-0 Warriors.
Now, following this OVP health kickoff, we will bring you our scoring summary. Taft will tee it up. Now, the big run by Green is what propels Riverside to this early lead. OVP health kickoff, formerly Ohio Valley Physicians, in business since 1999. So Taft has it teed up. And this one may go out of bounds, but instead it will be picked up there by Drew Banks. And Drew Banks will bring it out to the 26-yard line. Mark A. Hunt and Associates sponsoring our scoring summaries. Mark A. Hunt and Associates, the Kanawha Valley's premier personal injury law firm. 7 plays, 63 yards, 3:25 off the clock.
Yeah, Coach Daugherty probably would have loved to put 6 on the board instead of 3, but he'll take whatever points he can get at this early stage. We got a flag on the field, Mark. There was some holding, which is going to set the Panthers back, kind of like Riverside did when they got their first punt. So we'll see what kind of play calling Coach Likens comes up with in this series.
Brad Likens in his 4th season, graduate of Lincoln County High. And Alex Daugherty, graduate of Riverside, in his 6th season. Joe Haim at QB. Well, he had the interception, and then the big run by Green, and here is the handoff, and not much doing there for Logan Spinagle. Been a 3-year starter, but stopped there by the Warrior defense. Nice job by Casey Chapman, the junior.
Yeah, that's a good textbook tackle, Mark. You see that he gets off the block real quick and just goes right after it. It is a nice job. TFL, tackle for loss. He'll put that in the stat book for him this week.
Coach Daugherty saying, they really wanted to develop young guys this season, but a lot of young guys just made it difficult. Joe Haim rolls. Joe Haim will keep it and scampers his way out of bounds. Joe Haim on the season has completed 86 of 136 passes. So he's gone over 1,000 yards, 12 TD passes, 7 interceptions, now 8. And running the football, came in here with 48 yards on the ground.
I thought that was a smart move on Joe Haim's part, Mark. The whole secondary was covered. Just get whatever you can get. He ended up getting 4 out of that. So we'll see what they can do here on this 3rd down and 7.
3rd down play here for Lincoln County. Joe Haim steps back, surveys, slips away, and again, just going to have to take it out of bounds. Just really nowhere to go there. Good job by Riverside defensively. Malik Brown, the cornerback, got him out of bounds.
It kind of forfeited, Mark. He had 3 guys that he sent out in pass patterns, but when Joe Haim rolled out to his right, 2 of his would-be receivers were over there left. Now, that's really, really a hard throw for a young kid to make, even a seasoned veteran. That's a tough throw.
Well, we talked about Taft, a kicker for Riverside, and Lincoln County very excited about Atkins, who can boom the football both as a punter and as a place kicker. And Green going to get it on the roll, and Green dangerously picks it up. And now Green fights his way into Lincoln County territory. Well, that ball was bouncing all over, and Green, sometimes that's the kind of play where you're saying no, no, no. And then you
yes. Green had it, secured it, and then Dunlap, he was just stripping him like he was at a mall or something, just trying to rip it out of there.
So Riverside takes back over offensively. Lincoln County stymied so far on the offensive end. 7 plays, 0 yards, according to the great Robert Stegall.
He's the best.
What's he on about? His 50th Tootsie Roll right now?
I don't know. I didn't think we were counting.
We got Butch Mounts up here digging through them as well.
The great Butch Mounts. He's been a little selective, Mark. I'm kind of worried about it. I think he thinks we're tainting the candy since it's so close to Halloween.
But another penalty here.
Yeah. He's doing some pointing.
Having a little trouble here picking up his mic here. Brian Pauley. Tom Parrish is the umpire. Joe Rector the line judge. John Dickens the line.
There's a holding against the Riverside Warriors. It's going to cost him a little bit of field position there. A little bit of what Green had made up off of the scoop.
John Dickens the linesman. John Hardy the field judge. And Cody Clay is the side judge. Riverside leads the series. This is meeting number 4, and Riverside has won all 3. Get it to Gilmore, and Gilmore pitching and twisting his way for yardage to around the 40 is Green.
And Green likes to really get on the edge, as obviously you can tell, Mark. All of his success has come off of the edge or off tackle. So I think the Panthers are going to get a steady dose of Bryce Green this evening.
There's been a lot made this season, Jim, about transferring, and of course you always hear the argument of maybe a chance to get a better scholarship. You know, Alex Daugherty told me last year 3-7, and they had 8 different athletes with scholarship opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're a good athlete, they're going to find you.
A 4-yard gain for Green. Snap it to Gilmore, and Gilmore fights his way to the 45-yard line. Taken down there by Logan Spinago. There is a flag on the play. Got a hold against Riverside.
Yeah, so they're going to bring that one back. I think he was a yard short anyway, and of course the Panthers are going to take it. Wouldn't give them an opportunity to go for it. You know, Mark, you talked about this, and we've talked about this many times before in the past, that, you know, these guys that had opportunities to go on and play college football, and, you know, they need this exposure, they need this or that. Prior to this explosion of social media and TikTok and all this other fantastic stuff that's at the hands of any coach that wants to look at it, you have a guy named Kurt Warner who's down in Pineville, West Virginia, and Joe Paterno found him. So I'd say if you got the talent, they're going to find you.
Exactly right. 2nd down and 16 following the penalty. Gilmore takes the snap, looking to throw, and then shoots it in the direction. Tell you what, we got that purple on black, and the pass was intended for Lively, the 6'2", 190 junior. One of the bigger kids. He was a tackle as a freshman, and he's moved into the wing position and now a wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he kind of likes that whole idea of, I don't want to be one of those grunt guys down in the trenches. I want to touch the ball. He wants to be a part of it, try to make it exciting.
3rd down now for Riverside, leading at 3-0. Eli Taft with a 25-yard field goal put the Warriors on the board following a Lincoln County interception. Gilmore pitching, and here is Woods, and Woods will be taken down. Woods, a very dynamic player, but just nowhere to go there. Outstanding defense by Cooper Montgomery, Alex Banks, and they slow him up and take him down. That will bring up a punting situation here for Tudor. Tudor has the interception.
Yeah, midnight in Montgomery, Mark. He came all the way out there and just shoved that when we got some more lost yardage and 4th and a truckload for the Warriors.
Yeah, 7-yard loss there, so Tudor back to punt. Logan Lively is the long snapper. Lincoln County should get pretty good field position here. Flag coming out. And the punt going to hit and roll just into Lincoln County territory. See what the flag is all about here as we're under a minute to go here in this quick opening first quarter.
It's a very fast first quarter. Of course, you got mostly ground attack from both teams. We'll see what that flag is. Obviously, it had to do with something on the line, as the line judge called it.
It came out pretty quick.
Yep. Probably a formation. It's kind of what it seems like. And they're trying to figure out the yardage and where it should be.
Get the call here from Mr. Pauly.
They're asking
Here
Lincoln County, and
yep.
I think he's going to decline it. And the reason they're going to decline it, Mark, that punt really wasn't that productive. Gives Lincoln County some really good field position at the 46-yard line. Gives their playbook ample opportunity to just open it up and do whatever.
Again, they have yet to gain a yard on 7 plays, so see if they can get this offense untracked. Again, last week against Braxton County, rolled up 38 points.
And they're going to have to get Joe Haim. He's probably going to have to move a little bit because he's getting hurried if he stays in that pocket.
Turn and hand it off to Banks, and Banks is smothered by the front wall of Riverside.
And you got that Riverside front four, Mark. They're running that. They got Lively in there. He's a big kid. I mean, then they got Halstead and Cochran. Gilmore. They got some big kids up front, but they also have some quick kids, so they can get off the block quickly. Lincoln County's not hurting for size up in their front five.
Brad Likens saying, we got that win against Braxton County last week. We'll build on the momentum. Come in here and snatch a 3rd win of the season. Time winding down, and just about a second between play clock and game clock. And I don't believe the Panthers will run a play until the second quarter. A 25-yard field goal by Eli Taft of Riverside. And here in Quincy, the Warriors on top of the Lincoln County Panthers. Away we go to the second quarter on our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Eyewitness Sports. to meet our coaches. Brad Likens in season number 4 as the head coach of the Panthers at Lincoln County. Coach Likens is a graduate of LCHS in 2007, went to Marshall University, started coaching when he was 18 years old, helped in Lincoln County, served on the staff of Billy Seals at Huntington, then returned to Lincoln County, was an assistant, and now the head coach and athletic director. Very proud to be back at his alma mater. Alex Daugherty in his 6th year guiding Riverside High School's football program. He's the 5th head coach in school history. Coach Daugherty is a graduate of 2012 at Riverside High School. Attended Marshall University every Friday night. While in college, he would go to high school football games to watch and learn. So he was getting an education in the stands on Friday night while attending college. He has one playoff appearance here as the head coach. Lincoln County has never been in the playoffs in the school's existence, and it's certainly something that Brad Likens wants to get accomplished. Lincoln County just 3 yards so far as we start the second quarter. Riverside with 53. And Lincoln County -1 passing, so just 2 total yards. So Joe Haim and company going to try to change that here. Joe Haim throwing and getting it into the hands of his receiver, Spinagle. Nice grab by Spinagle.
Yeah, good job by Spinagle with the yards after catch, Mark. Enough to evade a tackler and get Lincoln's first down of the game.
Spinagle has been a 3-year starter. Here's another look.
Good release by Joe Haim. Nice lob out there by Spinagle. Broke that tackle, got an extra 4 yards, enough for a first down for the Panthers.
First downs here in the second quarter, sponsored by Optimum. Joe Haim under center and will hand it off, and Austin Atkins is met by the Warrior defense.
Yeah. They're going to see some tough sledding up there in that middle. If they're going to have success tonight, Mark, they're going to have to do these short dump passes and try to get out on the edge a little bit and catch the Warriors sleeping or pinching inside on their ends and not containing. So we'll see how this game transpires. But these two teams, as we talked about before, how competitive they're going to be tonight.
Many there to bring down Atkins, including Logan Lively. Second down and 10 from the 43. Joe Haim, play fake, rifles, got a man, and good defense there in the secondary. And who else but Green there on the defense?
Yeah, Green putting the sword back in the sheath there as he did a nice job of defending that. Playing the ball and keeping his hands off of the defender. Not a bad ball by Joe Haim. Mark, actually pretty good. Had an opportunity to catch it, but good defense by Green there.
Yeah, trying to get it into the hands of Zach Miller. Miller really came on last few games. Touchdown last week. Another last week called back. Third down and 10 here for the Panthers. Only got this good field position following the punt and seeing if they can make something happen here. Got the first down. Joe Haim rifles it out, and Miller makes the catch, still on his feet. Good move and takes it to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Joe Haim got popped there off of that pass, but he made it work, and really nice job by Miller here to avoid that tackle. Nice spin 360. Then he just cuts out to the right, back to the left again. I mean, good job of keeping his feet and keeping the ball, and the Panthers are on the attack, Mark.
19-yard pickup. First down presented by Optimum. Panthers on the move here. Joe Haim looks downfield, and that is going to be intercepted in the end zone by Green. Second interception of the night by Riverside. He was looking for Spinagle.
Yeah, Spinagle had double coverage, Mark, and Green was just playing free safety all the way back. That's his second pick. It's not a bad option, but he's just got to get a little bit more zip into it. He kind of overthrew Spinagle there, and then Green was able to cash in and get his second pick of the night.
Green playing center field there, so Riverside takes over. We were firing T-shirts into the crowd down below. T-shirt gun sponsored by Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank leverages the value of your home and explores all the possibilities of the Poca Valley Bank home equity line of credit. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. So Riverside with the 3-0 lead and back to work offensively, and good job by the Panthers. Green got the call, and Banks makes the tackle.
Yeah, Mr. Versatility. He's got the pick, and then he gets the first handoff here, and they're kind of deep in their own territory. Probably going to be a little more conservative here, Mark, because they want to try to play field position.
You could say that Brad Lyken's banking on the Banks brothers. He's got Drew Banks, the junior, and Alex Banks, the sophomore, and both outstanding players. So no gain on the play. Second down and 10 here for Riverside. Consolidation of old DuPont and East Bank High Schools. DuPont, a guy by the name of Randy Moss. East Bank, a guy by the name of Jerry West, and a host of others. Green makes the catch in the flat and will be stopped. Austin Atkins coming up there to put the clamps down on Green.
Yeah, Mark, what really set that up was they ran that twins left, a slot, and then Green was in the slot. Loudly runs the defender off, and then there's Green wide open. So, and good yards after the catch, too. So sets up third and about 4.
So Riverside now in the books with a completion on that play. Gilmore will give it to Woods, and Woods is going to be caught from behind by Spinagle. He read it beautifully.
Yeah, a really nice play by Spinagle. I mean, good tackle. Woods really didn't have a chance, Mark. You look here, he shoots the gap. There he comes right up through there. Good form on it. Doesn't want to let Woods get free from him. Obviously sets up a punt for the Warriors.
6-yard loss, and that will bring Tudor into the game. Football is right at the 20. Banks and Miller are back deep. High snap. Can Tudor get it off? He does, barely. And, boy, Lincoln County just going to get away from that. Let it roll. It's going to die at the 39-yard line. 19-yard punt.
Yeah, Tudor, that's not going to help his average. Of course, the high snap kind of threw his timing off there, and he had to hurry it a little bit. So,
well, Lincoln County suffered the interception. They get the ball back, and they will head back to work when we return here on our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Eyewitness Sports. Warriors up by 3.
Punch one.
It's time for Smile Cam, sponsored by Mountain State Oral and Facial Surgery. Restore your smile with same-day smile. Schedule an appointment online with Mountain State Oral and Facial Surgery. Warrior Stadium here in Quincy, eastern end of Kanawha County, as we head down the West Virginia Turnpike. And the Riverside Warriors entertaining the Lincoln County Panthers. Both teams in search of a third win this season. Lincoln County with great field position following the punt, and that's going to set them back 5. Yes. I think it was Dunlap. Yeah, Pete.
They actually had a couple of guys jump off there, Mark. Just take your pick. But, even at that, if I were a coach, would I be happy with starting on my opponent's 44? Absolutely. But you're looking at 1st and 15 as opposed to 1st and 10.
Riverside has gathered a couple of interceptions in this game through the air by Joe Haim. Lincoln County 3 penalties, 26 yards. Riverside 3 for 35. So 1st and 15. Joe Haim turns and hands it to Banks. And Drew Banks, according to Brad Likens, just a guy who just works so hard at it. Caleb Shanklin comes up with the tackle. Guy knows for the football, according to Alex Daugherty.
Lincoln County's not going to stop pounding. That's probably their first positive yards inside the tackle tonight.
On 2nd and 12, another call to Banks. And Banks looking for yardage, going to cut it back inside. Nice little job there by Banks as he takes it to the 36-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Mark, Riverside's lucky he didn't take 2 more steps wide left. He had a natural wall like a punt. He could have ran off to the races. They were really pursuing hot and heavy on Banks, and he just cut it back. And actually, I don't blame him. He got what he could, so make it manageable.
Lively and J.R. Cochran making the stop. Cochran had 18 solos a year ago. 8.5 for losses and 4 sacks. Joe Haim hands it to Banks. Banks again cutting it to the inside and taking it to about the 32-yard line.
Well, we know this is 2-down territory for the Panthers, Mark, because being that closer would be no reason to punt. At this point, you're, 2-3 yards away from trying to get a first down?
Green coming up and making the stop. So 4th down here. And Lincoln County trying to keep this drive going. Under 6 to play here. Fast first half of action, 3-0 game.
And we talked about fundamentals, Mark. It's a good opportunity that Riverside, that Lincoln's going to come out with a hard count, try to draw them off to get that easy first down. So, once coaches preach, watch that ball. Don't listen to the sound. You watch the ball move.
Well, I think they're going to maybe choose to punt, Jim. They're going to let time expire here.
Well, I think they called a timeout.
Talk it over and see.
I think they were waiting to see what, Coach Likens wanted to draw up here on this 4th down, so they didn't want to lose the yardage. So,
Lincoln County coaching staff for Brad Likens. You got Kyle Garrettson. He was a great player at Lincoln County High School. Josh Smith. Steve Likens, who is Brad Likens' father on the staff, coaches the offensive and defensive linemen. William Phillips, Josh Shemp, Bradley Jeffrey, Scooter Phillips, Nathan Baker, Brandon Elkins. Got quite the coaching staff, as does Alex Daugherty. Coach Daugherty with Heath Hoffman, Jason Blake, Dan Reed, Dion Dean, Michael Dickerson, Jonathan Harold, Billy Gilmore, Slayton Beard, Chief Ely. What a career he had at Glenville. Toyed with the professional ranks. Juice Duncan, and of course Coach Daugherty is the defensive coach, and going to see if his defense can get a stop here against Lincoln County as they go for it on 4th and 3. Joe Haim going to keep it. And Lucas Joe Haim has the first down yardage for Lincoln County.
That gets a little easier, Mark, when you have more numbers on that side than the other team. You notice he went in motion. You'll see this on the replay if they show it to us, that they had a motion man. They put him back in the slot, which gave him extra numbers, really extra blockers on that side. Here we go. There's the block there, and then there was the key block on the outside, and that sprung Joe Haim for the extra yardage. Plus, you see the downfield blocking. Good job by the Panthers.
Each team now with 3 first downs. Was an 8-yard pickup for Joe Haim. Fresh set of downs here for Lincoln County. Banks, well, he made the one step, Jim, the jab step almost, and then just darted in the other direction and takes it into the red zone. Our red zone sponsored by Glenville State University. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University. 7-yard pickup for Banks.
Yeah, good jab step by Banks, and really was clipped down by the official in the middle of the field. But good first down gain.
2nd down and 3. Joe Haim gives to Banks again. Boy, Banks does a nice job following his blockers.
And we got a flag here. Yeah, that's about the last thing that the Panthers need is a hold. They're very methodical about. They're not getting in a lot of big chunk yardage, but this is going to set them back 15, Mark.
Shanklin made the tackle. And it's going to take it back to the 27-yard line.
I stand corrected. It's from the point of the hold. That's correct.
Panthers break the huddle. And got something going here again with this outstanding field position. Unfortunate penalty there. And here is the handoff to Spinagle. And I thought he had some free sailing momentarily, but then taken down. They closed the gap quickly there. Good job by Riverside's Casey Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman's been a workhorse in there early in this first half, Mark. He's really, Spinagle, had he gotten through Chapman, would have had some free sailing because they had trips right and a single slot left in that formation. They really had the Warriors spread out.
3rd down play. Joe Haim fires in the direction of Banks, and Banks trying to maneuver away from defenders. And check that. I believe that was Braden Scarberry on the reception, 0, not 8. No, it was Banks. Forgive me.
Yep, Banks all over the field. You can't really tell. A little bit too long for the field goal attempt, don't you think, Mark? I think they're probably going to go for it here. That's where the ball sits at the 22. They set it back 7. It's 29, be 39-yarder. Might be a little bit much of an ask here.
It's been a long time, according to Coach Lykin, since Lincoln County has had a true kicker. Lincoln County, a consolidation of Duval, Guyan Valley, Hamlin. And going to have a timeout called here by the Panthers, and we will break away here with 3:01 to go in the first half. Lincoln County trying to get on the board, trailing Riverside by 3. Riverside defense back on the field. And the Panther offense of Lincoln County returning.
Yeah, see if the Warriors can respond to this 4th down and 8 here at the 22 for the Panthers. See what Coach Likens dialed up for his young quarterback. Nope.
And now Riverside will call a timeout.
Well, one thing you look at, Mark, when we talk about timeouts and coaches, that you don't get to save them till the end of the game. If you don't use them in that half, you lose them. As Coach Doherty might as well take an extra look. He probably didn't like the formation he saw based on the defense he called. So I get it.
Lots coming up on our Huntington Mall halftime report. We will salute our Todd Judy Ford Scholar Athletes of the Week. We will head around the school to both Riverside and Lincoln County. Bring you our Big Sandy Superstore Big Check presentation. We'll take a look at first half stats and highlights. And we'll also bring you some of the great plays from both Friday Night Rivals and Thursday Night Lights from Sinclair Broadcast Group around the country. It's all coming up on our Huntington Mall halftime report. The Huntington Mall invites you to discover all the great dishes their restaurants have to offer. Dine in, enjoy the patio, or eat in your car. It is a great dining adventure at the Huntington Mall. 4th down and 8 from the 22-yard line. Lucas Johame awaits the snap. Johame lets it fly, and that ball will fall incomplete. Well, had a little bit of pushing going on there between Woods and the intended receiver, Miller.
We'll see what the call is. Johame does let it fly. There is some contact over in that left corner, Mark. You'll see it here in the bottom of your screen right there, and an official's right at it. So we'll just see who they call it on.
That's going to go against the offense. So Miller, the guilty party, and Lincoln County missing the opportunity to maybe take the lead, get the game tied. And Riverside takes over here with 2:54 remaining in the opening half.
And they have 2 timeouts, Marks. If Green can spring one here, that's going to give them. They got a long way to go, 78 yards to get the pay dirt, but plenty of time. 2:54 with 2 timeouts, they can do it. So Panthers will have something to say about that, I'm sure.
I've been going with Gilmore here in this offensive set. Handed off to Green, and Green he goes one direction and now takes off. Green will head to the end zone. A flag, though, is down back at the 16. Well, you can tell it. That one is coming back.
Yeah, that initial hold on the offense negates a stellar run by Green.
Now Green showing us what he's all about. Started right and then cut back left.
Well, there was some initial pressure up there, and then we had a block, and looks like he was some little bit of extracurricular with the hands, costing Riverside 6 and some more field position.
We were talking earlier about, the transfer situation here in West Virginia. Coach Doherty just so proud that Green, who had probably opportunities to go.
I'm sure he did.
And he stayed and wanted to finish up his career as a Riverside Warrior. And he's had an outstanding season and one he'll remember, and got this remainder of this game and one game to go. They'll be here next week against Cabell Midland, a team we saw in week 1, and they are number 1 so far. New quarterback in the game and heaving it up and making the grab at midfield. Beautiful grab there by Riverside's Dasani McAllister. Fires to Jace Cook.
Yeah, Cook was cooking on that one. What a beautiful ball. McAllister's throw.
I believe it was McAllister. Maybe it was. Check again. Yep, that's McAllister in the game. Yeah, number 11.
Dropping a dime at midfield and putting them in field position here as they're trying to threaten Trying to march 78 yards in less than 3 minutes.
McAllister, a sophomore. Now straight ahead for Riverside following the big pass. He stood tall and launched that 41 yards, and Cook gathered it in.
Trying to go up tempo, the Warriors are, to secure some timeout if they need it later.
Fired off and picked off. And it's Joe Haim going the other way. And Lucas Joe Haim, does he stay in bounds? I think they may have ruled him out. Let's see.
Well, the initial signal mark from the back judge was a touchdown.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, I think
Joe Haim picks it off. He's running to the races. He doesn't have anybody in the screen right now. The only person he's got is McAllister to beat. Does a little bit of a juke there. There's a dive, and let's see where that left foot. He's clearly in bounds.
62 yards, and that brings Atkins on to attempt the point after. Well, Joe Haim's thrown a couple of interceptions. High snap. Atkins drills it. Great job by Austin Atkins to get the ball down.
Yeah, we talked about that, Mark. A holder's just as important as a kicker.
But how about Lucas Joe Haim?
Disregard the flag. They'll just line it up and kick it again.
Well, I think the kick was good.
They actually made no signal, and I guess they.
Okay. So it will be Derek Atkins get a little closer here. Austin Atkins is the holder. Braylon Peters is the long snapper.
Yeah, I don't think leg is his opportunity. I mean, he's got plenty of leg. That's not going to be the issue.
Very excited about having a true kicker, and he puts it up, and no good. But Lincoln County has taken the lead. A 62-yard interception return by Lucas Joe Haim for the score. Our scoring summary, rather simple. One play, 62 yards by the defense. Our scoring summary, sponsored by Mark A. Hunt and Associates, the Kanawha Valley's premier personal injury law firm.
They almost kind of fitting, Mark, that Joe Haim, who's thrown a couple of picks early, redeems himself a little bit with a pick, actually a pick six.
Well, unfortunate for Riverside to hit the big pass and thinking maybe we can go down and add to our lead of 3-0.
And that plays into this mentally. You know, when you start going into halftime, of course, we talked about this, you know, the value and the threat that Bryce Green has in that, and if he gets that ball on this kickoff.
Kickoffs being presented by OVP Health, formerly Ohio Valley Physicians, in business since 1999. So Atkins will kick it off. And back deep, you have Green. Jace Cook, Malik Brown, also returners this year, but at the moment, Green is the deep man. Again, he's returned 2 for touchdowns. Took another one to the 2-yard line, and Green will get the chance here. Takes it on the bounce. And Green escapes one tackler, and boy, good job there by Lincoln County's Nathan Nicely, the senior, with the stop. A flag comes out at around the 34-yard line.
I don't know where that one came from. I'm sure it wasn't off of the tackle mark. He clearly had all jersey, but let's just see what the preliminary call is from Mr. Pauly. Might be setting him back.
Okay, it's going to go against Riverside on the blind side block.
It just puts them in a deeper hole. Of course, I don't think they were fearless, Mark. They were putting that ball in the air.
Brad Likens said that They hope to come into this game with some momentum following the win last week, potential to be a dogfight. And he said anytime we can battle somebody and be in a dogfight, stay within striking distance, hang around in the first half, we like our chances. Well, right now, that's where they are. See what Riverside has to say, though, here with 1:25 to go in the half. Anytime you got number 21, you got a chance.
Yeah, this first play will tell you a lot about what they're going to do this series.
All right, Green has to dance around there. Not much room at all. Walker Atkins makes the stop for the Panthers. Gain of 9. McAllister fires over, and that ball, boy, dangerously attempt by Cook there, and kind of drifted up there in the air. Joe Haim was over there. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Let's pick up a 1 there by Green on that first down. I believe I said 9. So 2nd and 9 here. Make it 3rd and 9. And on that 2nd and 9, a dangerous
I know what I'd do if
there.
I was Lincoln there. If you got 58 seconds, they're deep in their territory. If they throw the ball and it's incomplete, you save a timeout. If they don't get the first down, I'd burn my timeout and make them punt.
So McAllister, the 3rd player that's played quarterback here tonight for Riverside. And we have a flag come out.
Looks like it's going to go against the Warriors, Mark.
So that will move them back 5 more. Set the football at the 12-yard line. And they're going to have to get it out to about the 25. See Brian Pauly there and his crew, and we just can't say enough about officials around the state and around the nation to keep a great game of football going. Another whistle.
Timeout by Riverside. They've
and
had
Riverside,
2. That gets them down to 1. Yep.
Well, tomorrow at 9:30 on Fox 11, join us for Marshall football today with Charles Huff, sponsored by the Dutch Miller Auto Group. Talking football, the head man of the Thundering Herd, Charles Huff, will bring you our Thundering Herd Spotlight. We feature Ethan Payne this week, the former polka dot standout. Also, take a look back at some of the great highlights from this season. Marshall did not have a game last Saturday. Last game they played was against James Madison on a Thursday. So when I talked to Coach Huff this week, I said, well, now it's a little different. You turn around, you play Georgia State on a Saturday in Atlanta. Didn't get back to about 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. Had to turn right back around, play a Thursday game. So they got a little breathing room last week, and now another tough Sun Belt Conference matchup against Coastal Carolina tomorrow evening there at Brooks Stadium, 6 o'clock game.
Yeah, Mark, you mentioned about Ethan Payne. What an example of hard work.
No doubt.
Homegrown boy. He's done a really great job filling in there. Well, actually, he doesn't fill in. He plays a lot.
Yeah, he's a true player. And
yeah.
Brother Toby's been dealing with some injuries, tight end. He's going to have a great career there as well. Just 2 outstanding young men. Charles Huff says, bring me all the polka guys you can get. He's got Bill Legg on his coaching staff, former lineman of the year, played at WVU. Here's McAllister rolling, looking, and unleashes it, and the catch is made. The boy, no catch now. Well, the pass was intended for Jace Cook.
Well, it saves Lincoln a timeout. But the ball would have been out of bounds, I believe, anyway. So if I were Coach Likens, I'd be setting up for the block here. 48 seconds to go in the half. Try to shorten that field as much as they can. But the officials are
they're gathered
powwow
there
about something.
There's a flag.
I
was down.
Oh.
Illegal touching on the offense, so the receiver went out of bounds on the zone and came back in. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Yeah, now you might be wondering, Mark, why they would decline that. Well, if you give them another 3rd down, you're going to take up more time off the clock, which would be a detriment to Lincoln County. So,
and give them an opportunity to get a first down and keep moving here.
Absolutely.
So, you're going to get the football here. And that's going to send Tudor back into the end zone. That's going to be scooped up by Miller. And Miller, a good job by Riverside. Taking down Zach Miller. Lively was there to put the stops on Miller. And so Lincoln County with this 6-3 lead, 38.5 showing on the clock. Opportunity here.
And Mark, what you're looking at, I mean, a short porch for the Panthers. I mean, you're looking at 39 yards to pay dirt. So they've got a couple opportunities where they can throw deep, or they can try to get Spinagle out in space. He's been pretty effective as well. Of course, Bank, he's been pretty effective as well. So they've got a lot of options here.
Joe Haim will operate from the shotgun formation. Austin Atkins in motion and dump it off into the hands of Drew Banks. And Banks escapes one tackler. Good job by Drew Banks.
Yeah, the question was whether Banks, was he out of bounds? And if he was, and they said he wasn't, so Lincoln County had to burn their last time out of this half, Mark.
We talked about how quickly this half had gone. Here, the last 2 minutes, it's taken about as long to play the final 2 minutes of this half that did the entire first half of play. Two teams at 2-6 battling here. You know, when you get to the point in the season and you know that the postseason is not a possibility, then you start reshaping your goals. Join us tomorrow morning with the Saturday Sports Showcase, and we will be talking college football, high school football.
And Mark, you mentioned from the coaching standpoint, it's really kind of hard to keep those kids focused. They know they don't have a postseason, but you know, you're trying to shape them into, hey, this is something we can build upon for next year. You know what we're looking for. So that's what they're striving for.
Yeah, like I said, your mindset right now, you're in a playoff game, trying to finish the season at 2-0. Joe Haim gets the snap, sets up, launches, and looking in the direction. Trying to get it out there to number 7, Austin Dunlap. Dunlap, was it for Dunlap or was it Austin Atkins was the intended receiver? One, not
Austin
7.
was down there. Yeah, 7 and 1. They look pretty similar, but I was really impressed with Joe Haines' accuracy on that one, Mark. He really dropped that ball in there. It was a whole lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Atkins did a good job of not giving up on the pass, not giving the route up, as they say.
Yeah, Dunlap is a tight end. He runs excellent routes, had a TD last week. 3rd down 10 from the 39. Lucas Joe Haim looks and in trouble, and down he goes. A good defensive play there, and that was Gilmore making the stop.
That should wrap up the half, Mark.
They're going to take it down there, and that will do it. Lincoln County and Riverside battling for the 4th time ever. Riverside has won all 3 encounters at the moment. Lincoln County by 3 here on our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Eyewitness Sports. Lots coming up on our Huntington Mall halftime report. We begin our halftime with a look around the country. Some of the great scenes from our Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
3rd down and 6. And a one-handed grab by Cam Blivens. And Blivens is down the sideline, inside the 10-yard line, and down just shy of a touchdown. Cam Blivens.
Tonight, pass rush here on Tyrese. He's going to throw it away, and it is caught. It's complete.
Oh, what a play.
He flipped it up for grabs on the money.
He'll get another chance right here, and he's going to get out wide, and he's going to be tough to catch. And he stays on his feet and breaks back the other way. We've got a flag that's probably going to be a face back right when we talk about Brock and his big-time plays. He breaks one. He brings the crowd to life.
Brunkemeyer to throw on second down. A good pass to the far side. That one hung in the air for a long time, but it's caught. Sidestepping one man, diving towards the goal line, and
Here is three. McIntyre flips out to Sanders, who gets pancaked. He never had possession, so it'll be incomplete.
Moreno
Flores, and it's blocked. It's blocked. Leeds blocks the kick. Wow, special teams once again steps up big, and the celebration begins.
Well, we're here at the Huntington Mall, one of the many sponsors of Friday Night Rivals, and I'm actually here with Marky Valdez. Now, she's the marketing director here at the mall. Now, tell me, what does this mean to be a part of Friday Night Rivals?
Well, you know, our mall is just a big community-based mall, and a lot of our customers are fans of our local high schools and high school football, and so it's great to be able to give back to something like that.
And when you talk about those fans, let's take a moment and talk a little bit about that community and how important it is.
Our community is, we provide so many different things for our shoppers, you know, and we're more than just a shopping center. We like to think of our place as a place to come and gather. We like to do a lot of different events for our customers. And so, you know, being able to give back to that community is a wonderful opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It was so nice to meet you, and thank you so much, the Huntington Mall, for helping with Friday Night Rivals.
Time now for our Big Sandy Superstore Big Check presentation. Each week, Big Sandy Superstores donating $500 to the host school in our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. And this week, of course, it is Riverside High School. Great to be joined by the outstanding athletic director here at Riverside High School, Todd Chevalier. And Todd, always great to be with you and the great hospitality you guys provide for us here at Riverside High School. And any type of donation helps high school athletic programs.
Any donation that high schools receive these days go a long way. Ticket prices are going up, and that's starting to keep people away from the game. So, yeah, any donations that we can receive is a huge plus for the athletic department, and we really appreciate you guys doing this for us.
Yeah, and beautiful facilities here at Riverside High School, a lot to be proud of.
Oh, it is. The citizens of Kanawha County voted in a levy, 4 or 5 years ago, that helped get the athletic fields, the football fields, soccer fields turfed, and it is a huge plus for the athletes of Kanawha County.
All right, there you go. Todd Chevalier, athletic director here at Riverside High School, accepting our Big Sandy Superstore Big Check here on our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. All right, we definitely enjoyed seeing Todd Chevalier, one of the great guys. Was an outstanding coach. He was the defensive coordinator with Bryce Casto in 1994 when South Charleston won the state championship there at Wheeling Island Stadium. First time the championship games were staged at Wheeling Island. So let's talk about this first half. Jim Mahan, we came in here thinking this was going to be a competitive football game. So far, we've gotten our wish.
Well, we do have that at 6-3, and we got a field goal and a pick six, and really not a whole lot of offensive generation in the first half, but I look for some open playbooks in the second half.
All right, both teams out on the field getting set here for the second half as the captains meet at midfield. So we're ready to go here with second half action, and there is Bryce Green, outstanding player for the Warriors. Had a couple of long runs there. First half stats. Green, 10 carries, 60 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry. Andrew Banks, 6 carries, 22 yards. Passing, Lucas Johane, 30 yards. And Asani McAllister had that one big completion of 41 yards. There are the team totals.
Yeah, Mark, when you look at that, one that really pops out at me, it isn't just because of the number of yardage, but the 7 penalties for 67 yards. But the biggest one was when Green popped that long run for what appeared to be a touchdown, but was called back on a penalty. So that really hurt the Warriors, kind of set them back a little bit, maybe even mentally too.
Yeah, 3 interceptions in the game, 2 by Riverside. Johane threw them both, but he redeemed himself. He intercepted a pass and took it 62 yards. That's our lone touchdown, and it is a 6-3 game here at the break. Riverside will get the football as we begin play here. Our kickoffs sponsored by OVP Health, formerly Ohio Valley Physicians, in business since 1999. Tonight's Friday Night Rivals showdown between Riverside and Lincoln County being sponsored in part by your Parmar stores. If you don't have a Parmar store near you now, you will soon.
And Mark, you talked about Green and how much of a threat that he is, and I was a little bit surprised last time after Lincoln capitalized off of that pick six. They did kick the ball to Green. So we'll see what they dial up here in the start of the second half.
Derek Atkins will kick it off, and Derek will be zooming it in the direction of a guy named Green, who has 2 returns for touchdowns this season. Battle of 2 and 6 teams here. One team trying to get its third of the campaign. 2 games to go for both of these squads in this 2023 season of West Virginia high school football. And Atkins puts his powerful right leg into it. Green will let it take a hop and gather it in. And then Green going to turn a corner here. Got some room, and Green still on his feet. And a nice return to around the 45-yard line. And the kicker, Atkins, makes the stop.
Yeah, Atkins good. Derek Atkins, a good job of slowing Green down, getting him out of bounds, but excellent field position for the Warriors to start this third quarter.
Well, Coach Daugherty said before the season started, special teams is something we want to give a lot of attention to, and they certainly have. 39-yard return there for Green to give Riverside outstanding operating room here. They're going to kind of go back now to that Service Academy look, as they like to call it, and get it to near the 50-yard line.
Yeah, almost like a mirror start of their first part of the game, just kind of feeling out, seeing what kind of defense Coach Lyken's going to put out there on the field and what kind of tendencies he's going to have to see if they're willing to strike early or they're just going to keep it on the ground.
Riverside returned just 3 guys from a year ago that scored a touchdown. They lost 9 of the top 11 rushers. They lost 5 outstanding receivers. They were hit hard in a lot of ways. Here is Green, and a little option look, and will pitch it, and good job there by Joe Haim to make the stop offensively.
Yeah, really nice job of coming up on that
corner
and pressing it out on Woods. So, I don't know that it would have mattered whether he'd have kept the ball and ate it. It would have been about the same result. So we're looking at 3rd and long for the Warriors.
Loss of 5, so number 5 defensively for Lincoln County with the stop of Woods there. Woods is a dynamic player. He's got good speed, just a freshman. Yep, high hopes for him here at Riverside. 3rd down and 12. Give it to Green, and then they'll flip it to Cook, and here is Cook. And Lincoln County does an outstanding job of reading that. Slowing it down was Austin Atkins.
Really what I like about this Lincoln County team that I've seen so far in this game is their ability to tackle in open space. And they've done a really good job of that. The only guy that's really been elusive is Green, but he's hard to tackle regardless of who he's playing against. I mean, he's tough.
Tudor will drop back to punt here for Riverside. Check that. I believe they've got a new punter in the game. Well, they're going to fake the punt, and it's picked off. So they throw the pass, and Nathan Nicely picks it off.
Yeah, one of those things, Mark, I mean, you look at it, I know Nicely's a senior, but kind of cost him about 20 yards on the pick. You want to, when you look at it, the natural inclination is to pick the ball off, but given the fact that was 4th down, you bat it down, the ball goes back to the original line of scrimmage, you gain probably 20 yards. Austin Atkins, or Nathan Nicely, was the one that was in on that pick. They just tried to set that up. McCormick just lofts it in the air, and Nathan Nicely comes down with it and then loses his footing. 1st and 10 for the Panthers at 36.
Joe Haim takes the snap and will keep it, and Joe Haim's got running room. He zooms his way for a 1st down. Our 1st downs here in this 3rd quarter, being sponsored by the University of Charleston. We are all Golden Eagles. The University of Charleston's mission is to educate each student for a life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. Take the next step toward success. And speaking of the University of Charleston, big game tomorrow with Frostburg. Both teams coming in with just 1 loss in the Mountain East Conference. UC coming off its first loss of the season to Fairmont. Give the hand off to Banks, and nothing doing by that Riverside defense. Good job by the Warriors stuffing that play.
Yeah, Warriors closed that one down, but, I want to give a shout-out. You talk about those offensive guys right up in the trenches for the Panthers. Stratton, 270, Atkins there, the left guard, Peters, center, and then Stevenson, and Joe Haim on the right side. He's senior. Kyle. These kids are really physical up front. This might prove to be the difference in the game.
2nd down and 10. Banks in motion. Joe Haim will keep. And Joe Haim with another nice pickup.
Working off that left side. That's where he got that big chunk of yardage the last time, where he picked up 11 for a 1st down. Here we are with some manageable 3rd and not short, but reasonable.
Shanklin with the tackle and the 5-yard gain.
Mark, if you're going to play field position, if you don't get this, my thought is, unless he's really, really close to a first down, probably go ahead and kick it deep, try to pin him down.
The Joe Hames view of that defense. Joe Hames on the keeper again, and bottle him up here and drive him back.
A little bit of an extracurricular activity going on there. Maybe some frustration there. These kids wanting to really get all they can to try to squeeze out the last two games and get the most out of their season.
Loss of one, Shanklin and Lively there on the stop. So after the interception, each team now with 2 interceptions. Atkins into punt. Braylon Peters will snap it. Green back deep, and a bad snap, and a good job by Atkins to get it off. And then this one going to take a roll, and can Lincoln County chase it down? They cannot. It appeared that Green was going to field it. I think that slowed up the Panthers a bit, but nonetheless, after how that play started, pretty good punt by Lincoln County. 6-3 our score, 7:07 to go in the third on FNR.
There it is.
Well, 2 of the all-time greats. Ralph Hensley to your left, Dick Whitman to your right. Dick, the first coach at Riverside, and then Ralph followed. But for a long time, they battled each other, Dick at DuPont and Ralph at East Bank, the 2 schools that formed Riverside High School. And Dick Whitman, 181 victories, 2 state titles. Ralph Hensley, 176 victories, 4 state titles. They were 1 and 2 for the longest time in the Kanawha Valley and wins. Steve Edwards Jr. is now the all-time leader. Playoff records, Dick Whitman 20-9, Ralph Hensley 18-8. Miss those 2 guys immensely. 2 class acts all the way.
Not only class acts, but really their teams were always prepared, and they were just students of the game all the way through.
Working in Oak Hill, West Virginia, and I started kind of giving those guys love. They said, well, we get you guys. And Dick Whitman and Ralph both said, anytime you want to come to practice, you stop by. And I did. Had some fun guys to interview. Chris Massey at East Bank and Randy Moss, Bobby Howard, just to name a few. All right, got a penalty here to start the drive, not what Alex Daugherty wanted.
You know, and Mark, and contrary to what a lot of people think, you know, there are athletes in our state that went on, played collegiately very effectively and in professional. So, you know, those abilities are out there. You just have to work at it.
All right, first down and 15. Green takes the direct snap and goes down quickly. Tell you what, cannot say enough about this Lincoln County defense.
Yeah, they've really stymied the Warrior offense. I mean, they've had a couple explosive plays, but by and large, tough sledding from between tackle and tackle, and really a lot of that has to do with those front four. You got Walker Atkins, Josiah Stratton, Austin Dunlap, David Stevens. Those guys have really been stepping it up, at least when it comes to the run game.
It was a loss, or maybe a pickup of 2, so it's 2nd and 3, and the ball batted down and nearly picked off. Boy, Drew Banks had a shot at it.
Banks, great eye catching that deflection or seeing a ball pop up in the air, and then just a cat's hair from getting a pick there at about the 5-yard line, 5-6-yard line.
Brings up 3rd down and 13. You may say dangerous play, but hey, trying to make something happen here. And but boy, that ball was batted up in the air, and Banks made a diving effort. 3rd down and 13 from the 17 for Riverside. And it's Green, who wants to go straight ahead with it, and does, and Stevens gets him from behind for the tackle.
Somewhat a little bit of a conservative, trying to get them just some extra margin so they have a little bit more room on the punt.
Lincoln County won its final home game last week against Braxton County. On the road here tonight, they'll head to Greenbrier East next week. Riverside will close it out here at Warrior Stadium against Cabell Midland. So Tudor in to punt. Well, they've changed the punter again.
Mark, they're trying some extra legs here toward the end of the season to give them some varsity experience. Uh-oh.
And it's a bad snap, and going to have to take off with it here. And a good job just, retrieving that bad snap. And Lincoln County does a great job of taking down Cooper Halstead, and the tackle made by Jeremiah Triplett. And, boy, Lincoln County in business.
And Mark, really actually a good job of not trying to punt that ball, causing a block, which could have made things even worse. Just take it, eat it, and run. Try to get as much yardage as you can. Hope your defense can hold them. Well, it's a little bit of a loss, but it's better than a block kick. So we'll see what Joe Heem dials up here.
6-3 game. Joe Haim takes the snap. And Joe Haim finds daylight as he gets it down to the 6-yard line. 11-yard gain into that Glenville State red zone.
Now, Mark, they have found some success on that left side right off tackle. They've been had a lead with a pull backside guard, and that has given them a lot of success on the ground.
Landon Hamilton was the punter who had to field that bad snap. Joe Haim hands it off. Spinagle fights his way toward the goal line.
Powers his way and looks like he's just a couple inches short of the goal line.
And Lincoln County lines up quickly. Joe Haim will go straight in, and that is a TD.
We talked about that physicality on that line, Mark. They just lined up, didn't give Riverside much of a chance for any type of set or try to pinch at center. They just shoved it right on into the goal line. That's just called power offense all the way for the Lincoln County Panthers.
Touchdown sponsored by Marshall University. At Marshall University, our mission is to provide quality and innovative education to improve the health and well-being of the individual, family, community, and global society. We are Marshall. Atkins, kick is up, and the kick is good. And Lincoln County has stretched its lead to 10.
Yeah, it's just power football there, Mark. Just snap the ball. Everybody get behind Joheim and just go.
So it is a score by Joe Haim and a 13-3 lead for Lincoln County here on FNR. Our scoring summary, sponsored by Mark A. Hunt and Associates, the Kanawha Valley's premier personal injury law firm. Lucas Joe Haim takes it in from short yardage following the special teams miscue. Hamilton had to field a bad snap, did the best he can, but end result, 3 plays, 17 yards, just 42 ticks off the clock. And Lincoln County on top of Riverside here by a score of 13-3. Lincoln County trailing in this series. 3-zip.
You got Green, who's always a threat deep for the Warriors.
Yeah, and, can't say totally official, but according to Max Preps, Green leads the country in return yards. He'll scoop this one up. He's had some good ones here tonight, and just always keeping those eyes downfield, takes it to the 21. So here comes Riverside now with some work to do, Jim.
Yeah, when you look at that, Mark, if you've seen this and you've seen them play as the game progresses, those receivers really need to kind of make adjustments on some of the kicks. You do take time away when you let that ball bounce on the ground. You want to try to catch it in the air, even move up a little bit. Catch it in the air, catch it in stride. You're going to gain 5 or 6 off of that just from the timing of it. So a little bit of a deficit for the Warriors here starting at their 20.
Gilmore is back in at quarterback. And they'll give it straight away. And the carry, I believe, was by Woods.
You got a quick popper up there, Mark. Got 2 or 3 right up the gut, which has pretty much been the standard as front 6 or 7 that running that 4-4 for Lincoln County. They've been pretty stout there against the run.
Bradley Likens saying, hey, I want to be in the dogfight with this team. And Riverside's head coach, Alex Daugherty, says he loves coaching these guys, the blue-collar mentality. Give it to Woods, and Woods, he's not going to need much, but that burst there for Riverside was Malik Thomas. Malik Thomas sneak him into the game.
Yeah, Thomas snuck through that line right there real quick. You saw that speed that he has. So if you get him in the open field, it might be lights out.
Green comes out. So first down. 9-yard pickup by Malik Thomas, Jr. Gilmore handing it off, and this time Lincoln County is waiting on the ball carrier. Good job by Stevens as he takes down Thomas.
Yeah, running that off tackle a little bit, gave those linebackers an opportunity to peel off those blocks. A little bit of slow development in the background on that handoff. So, we'll see if they can do a couple quick poppers. Or don't see Green in there, Mark.
Green came off a moment ago. He's down there by the coaching staff. No, does not appear to be injured, just out of the game at the moment. Gilmore is in at quarterback and works under center. And pitches to the back, circling around. That is Malik Brown. So trying to get into the speedsters now. So we've seen Thomas with the ball. We've seen Woods with the ball, and now Malik Brown.
You got to say it's about Green. He generally doesn't come off the field, Mark. He's back there for kickoff returns. He plays offense. He plays defense. So, he is a young man that's probably in shape, but wouldn't hurt to have him sit out a series or 2.
Brown goes in motion, and they go straight ahead and close to first down yardage. That's Thomas.
It's going to be an interesting call. What do you think here, Mark? It's 4th and short.
I think they're chipping away here, and, you got to be thinking. You look up here at the clock, and there's 2:15. I mean, there's still a quarter to go here, but
I don't think they have any intentions of punting. They put Green back in the game, so, I'm banking money at 21's getting that pigskin.
Unless they decide they want to try to just pull them off. Gilmore under center. Now we have whistles. And a snap infraction here on Riverside. And now that may change the thinking now?
Yeah, I think your decision makings kind of went out the window. I don't know that I would risk it when you have, like you said, Mark, another quarter to play. Coach Daugherty's doing the right thing here and kicking it away.
Well, and it's not like, Lincoln County is throwing it around a lot tonight, so they're keep it to the ground. This clock is running. This clock's been moving throughout the night. Tudor back in as the punter. And Hamilton in there a couple of times. They tried the fake punt, which got intercepted. Then a bad snap that Hamilton did a nice job just keeping it from being totally disastrous, though Lincoln County did capitalize and scored its second touchdown. So we got a timeout here by Riverside with 1:27 to go, and the Warriors trailing by a count of 13-3.
Yeah, Mark, when you set up at the 17-yard line, you put an awful lot of pressure on that defense.
Now there is the late Mike Linsky, who coached at Duval for many years and won a couple of state championships. Won one in 1978 at my alma mater, Ripley. They knocked off the Doddridge County Bulldogs, and won another in 1983. And then it was off to John Marshall, and he would win a state championship there to AAA level, defeating Capital at Wheeling Island Stadium. Just a super, super guy, brother-in-law of Bob Mollett, our dear friend with the WCHS-TV Fox 11 North-South All-Star Football Classic. But Mike Linsky, just one of the many great coaches that have roamed the sidelines there in Lincoln County. He was a Sherman High graduate, not far from here, just down the road in Seth. So Tudor stands at his 25. Good snap, and Tudor puts his foot into it. Lincoln County will not make any attempt at returning it. I believe Lively downed it there for the Warriors, and the Panthers will have the football here. So Alex Daugherty, the defensive coach for Riverside, and he's going to tell his guys, you got to get a quick stop here.
Yeah, they really need to try to stop that Panther offense, who's found some success off of that left side. Let's see if they go back there again.
Joe Haim under center. Joe Haim will turn, give it to Spinagle, and Spinagle with a nice little carry there.
Yeah, he kind of disappeared in that big mass of bodies and then popped out for about a 4-yard gain.
Carried by number 9. Logan Spinagle. 5-yard gain.
Stop made by Riverside's Casey Chapman.
And I can guarantee you that Lincoln County will not be in any hurry to get any plays off. This could very likely be the last play of the quarter.
It was a 5-yard gain, Jim. Didn't really look like it when it started, but like you said, he just sort of disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Joe Haim turns, and this time it'll be Drew Banks, and Banks gallops his way near the first down marker, going to be close.
Yeah, he made a leap toward it, Mark, but not sure that he got there on the spot, but might be close enough for a measurement, but it looks like the down marker's already marked third down, so I can assure you that Coach Likens will just want to confer with his team as we head into the fourth quarter with the Panthers with a 10-point lead.
The Lincoln County an interception for a touchdown before the half, and then they take advantage of a special teams miscue, got great field position, and they score, and they lead it here as we head to the final 12 minutes of play by 10. Watching live coverage of the Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Eyewitness Sports. Well, here, I can't talk. Well, you were seeing their scenes from 1999, Wheeling Island Stadium, and it was Parkersburg and Riverside in a classic state championship game. First year of existence for Riverside, and they make it to the state title game. They defeated Martinsburg 59-22, University 35-7, and Capital 41-7 to make it to Wheeling Island Stadium. Marshall Burdett's team knocking off Dick Whitman's crew 31-28. It was a great comeback by Riverside, and, well, that's what they hope to do again one day here at Riverside with young Alex Daugherty.
Mark, I don't think you got any forward progress on there based upon the line judge spot. As a matter of fact, I think you may have lost a little bit.
Yeah, as we start this fourth quarter of action and Lincoln County leading it. You think about the teams that Riverside knocked off along the way. Martinsburg jumps out at you, doesn't it? It's what they've done since then. But, you know, it's high school sports. It goes in cycles. And, you know, I always like to say, and I say this because I have so much respect for the guys, but, you know, the Tom Harmons, the Dave Walkers, the Billy Seals, those guys were 0-10. First season at the helm. They've built great programs. Here's the handoff, and Spinagle fights his way, and I believe he's going to get the spot. He will, and it is a first down. First downs are being sponsored by Optimum here in our fourth quarter.
That was a big call by Coach Likens, getting that ball to Spinagle and him just using his strength off of that right side and getting the first down, getting the necessary yardage.
Again, Coach Likens said we want to be in the dogfight, and they have been. They have the lead. And the football here as we start the fourth. Lincoln County now with 6 first downs. Riverside has 5 here on the evening at beautiful Warrior Stadium on the campus of Riverside High School, Quincy, on the eastern end of Kanawha County. Joe Haim hands it off, and Drew Banks. And, boy, he's decked quickly there. Well, he was going to dart through that hole, but Shanklin had other ideas.
Shanklin did a really nice job of popping Banks on after he came through there. Banks was trying to go back to the weak side, and they was having nothing of it. But, you know, it's really not a bad thing that Lincoln got the first down, but what's going to happen, they're just going to try to churn that clock out. They're just going to keep the ball on the ground, churn the clock out. There's 4-down territory the last series, so they're going to continue with 4-down territory here.
2nd and 9.
Trying to take full advantage of the play clock. It's down to 8 seconds right now.
And finally the snap. And here is Banks. And Banks tumbles out of bounds.
And Drew Banks is pushed out of bounds by number 10, Malik Brown.
Sometimes they say, you know, why did a runner go out of bounds and stop the clock? But, you know, if you want to try to gain some extra yardage and get yourself a better chance of converting on that third down, you just go get the extra yardage. You just got to play the game. I don't think this is at a point now where you're playing the clock. Both teams have, the Warriors have 2 timeouts and the Panthers have 3. So that's going to come into play as we come down the stretch here.
This Riverside team, we mentioned before the game, we saw the captains, 2 guys injured. Jacob Shanklin, he's a brother to Caleb, and he's suffered a knee injury early in the season against Parkersburg. A snap to Joe Haim, and we have whistles, and this may be a penalty against the Panthers.
We talked about it just the previous play, Mark. Joe Haim trying to milk the clock as much as he could and get that last few seconds off the clock. He kind of delayed it just a little bit too late on that one.
Go back to that video we showed you as we started the quarter, and Lincoln County and Riverside in that battle. And, of course, that was the sophomore season for the great Mark Kimes at Parkersburg. Yeah. And what a run he would have. Lead the Big Reds to 2 state championships, and then went on to West Virginia Wesleyan, had a phenomenal career, over 6,000 yards. And his brother, Matt, now the head coach at Parkersburg, as we were just mentioning the Big Reds. So Lincoln County, again, as a program, they have fought and they have fought. They now have their true stadium on campus. They have waited forever for it to happen, and so happy for those folks. And it is beautiful, and we're getting the finishing touches on this video.
New one.
Video from the summer, and it has been a source of pride there in Lincoln County. And, once these new stadiums get going, it'll only get better and better. And I can remember the field here, once they got a stadium here, one of the big complaints here at Riverside when they had the natural grass was the crown.
You could only see about half of the player on the other side. That's true. That was one of the most pronounced crowns I've ever seen.
Yeah, but just a beautiful, beautiful facility there now at Lincoln County, and so happy for those folks. Kind of like Coach Likens said, because a lot of people in our county, they've never ever have witnessed turf.
That's right.
Because they don't go on the road to see games. So big difference maker with preparing and all that. Here's Joe Haim. And an athlete like Joe Haim certainly utilized the turf as he runs and is knocked out of bounds.
I'll give the Panthers a rarely reasonable fourth down and fairly short, so you know they're going to go for it. So we're looking at, what's that look like, Mark? A long two? Maybe just a regular two, a long two, something like that?
Andrew Tudor drove him out of bounds. Because you're looking at a two-score game right now, so just getting the ball back and getting the touchdown not going to be enough.
Yeah, the time's really the enemy for the Warriors right now, so this is a really big stop if the Warriors can pull it off. They can rise up.
Joe Haim gives it to Banks, and Banks finds the yardage and carves his way to the 35.
Yeah, that big first down for Lincoln. Banks just giving the ball and let him weave his way up through the middle. Yes, said it best, Mark, carving his way through that tough interior of the Warriors, but enough to get that clock running and keep it running. And again, that's going to be the friend of the Panthers and the enemy of the Warriors.
Riverside has captured a couple of games on FNR. This is a second appearance in program history for Lincoln County. Joe Haim fakes it, and Joe Haim gets away from the defender, and Joe Haim will keep it. Lucas Joe Haim goes down and stays in bounds.
Yeah, that's smart. Heads up move by Joe Haim, Mark. Going out of bounds stops it, but he just slides down, does him a little baseball slide, keeps that clock running because he knows again. And he got a pretty good chunk of yardage on that first down.
Well, Joe Haim has come a long way, according to Coach Likens this season. Just improving every week, limiting the mistakes. Now, he had 2 interceptions here tonight, but again, he redeemed himself in a big-time way by picking off a Riverside pass and going 62 yards for a touchdown. Handed off, and Atkins will drive his way for a couple.
Yeah, tough sledding. Again, we're looking at third down and short, but, when you see Joe Haim get up there to the line, he's not indecisive, Mark. He's just trying to milk that clock down, and they're going to do it again here. And, you got 2 downs that the Warriors are going to have to rise up and really come up with something big. But I don't expect Lincoln County to do anything but a quick popper up the middle. I'm certain they're not going to try to go wide here.
Third down for Lincoln County, and a long one here. Joe Haim will give it to Spinagle, and good job there by the Warrior defense.
I kind of thought that Spinagle would be leading Banks on that one, Mark, but I bet at this point, we've got an injured Warrior.
Yeah, Logan Tudor down on the field. We break away here. We shall return here on FNR, Lincoln County by 10 over Riverside.
go.
Friday Night Football Extra, sponsored by the Thornhill Auto Group, coming up tonight at 11:10 on WCHS-TV. Looking forward to that, as always, as we bring you some great scenes of many games from around the area. Playoffs in Ohio starting tonight. Ironton in action. We'll have that. Ironton's only loss to Cabell Midland. That's who Riverside plays next week. Ironton has 65 playoff wins in school history, Jim. What a program.
Yeah,
this Riverside program, 10-6 all-time in playoff games. And right now, their playoff game is this game and next week. And they are looking to try to make a fourth down stop and get the football back with time not on their side.
This is definitely paramount that the Warriors get this stop here with 6:45 to go in the contest.
Lucas Johaim sets the offense for Lincoln County. Miller in motion, handed off to Banks, and Banks bottled up, and I don't think he got it. Then the ball comes loose. And Banks is stopped, and Riverside still with hope and life here with 6:36 showing on the fourth quarter clock.
The Warrior defense rose to the occasion, Mark, and stopped Banks in his tracks. He was desperately trying to get away from ball pop loose. Forward progress called the ball down, but now, like you mentioned earlier, they're down 10, so that's 2 possessions. They got to get 2 scores, not just 1.
Yeah, going to have to play fast here now.
Yep.
Riverside led it 3-0, 25-yard field goal by Eli Taft, but since then a couple of touchdowns by Lincoln County's Lucas Johaim, one defensively and one offensively. And here is the handoff, and nowhere to go at all for Green.
I don't know if that's a setup play that Coach Doherty's doing there just to see what kind of reaction they get out of that. But like you said, Mark, up-tempo, they're going to really need to up-tempo their play calling here as they go down the stretch.
East Coast Tees, more than T-shirts. They specialize in vehicle wrap, signs, window graphics, banners, and embroidery, too. Go to eastcoasttees.com to see what they can do for you. What can this Warrior offense do here? Pitch it to Green. Green's got some room. Bryce Green slips a tackle. Green tiptoeing on the opposite side of the field, reeling off a big gainer. No flags. First down. First down, sponsored by Optimum. Another look, Jim.
The only person standing between him and pay dirt was Miller, and you see Green there get on the sideline, and here comes Miller. He tries to juke him. He does kind of nudge him just enough to get him out of bounds, but real nice gain by Green. Definitely an uplifter for the Warriors at this point, Mark, on a rolling clock at 5:52.
33-yard pickup. Go back to Green. He'll grind his way for some decent yardage here. Well, you can't make it all up at once, and boy, they did get a big chunk of it there, and now just, again, got to move as quickly as possible here to try to punch it in and draw closer to Lincoln County.
Yeah, if it does nothing, Mark, what it does when you put a score on the board, it puts that pressure on that offense.
Handed off and nowhere to go.
Tough sledding there. Spinagle right in there on the initial contact. Thomas.
Yeah, Spinagle got him. Thomas, number 9's collide.
Yeah, they're going to definitely need to convert here. Obviously, Mark, you're looking at 2 downs. We know that. So we'll see what Coach Doherty comes up with.
Gilmore brings in the play. Yeah, youngsters from East Bank, Valley, DuPont middle schools that feed this program all here tonight. Congrats on their outstanding seasons. Warriors of the future. Malik Brown in motion and then gets the call, and Brown taken back. Spudnagel with the stop.
Yeah, right here's probably the play of the game, Mark, if you really look at it. A little over 4:25 on the clock, 4th down, looking at pretty much a long three, a little over 3. So this is really where the Warriors are going to have to rise if they want to have a shot for this game, they're going to have to convert this 4th down.
Green has carried the football 16 times, 109 yards here tonight. That clock continues to roll here. Warriors down 10. Lincoln County looking for a huge win. Pitch it to Green, and Green finds daylight, and Green surges for the first down, sponsored by Optimum.
That's a good example, Mark. I'm just going to sacrifice my body. I know where the line to gain is. Green just takes a really hard shot in the thighs, but manages to convert.
Football at the 27-yard line. Flag comes out.
I don't know whether there was a timeout or motion. Yeah, we got a motion against the Warriors.
That'll take it back to the 32-yard line. Tonight's Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week streaming on Facebook Live, being sponsored by Jan Deals, Attorneys at Law. Car wreck? Call Jan Deals, Attorneys at Law. 1st and 15. And slipping through the line, and not much. Malik Thomas with the carry. And smothered. Again, this is what they're playing for, and much more. But our Champions of the Game trophy, along with our Todd Judy Ford Scholar Athlete plaques, coming to us all season long from All Sport Trophies in Cedar Grove. Call them for all of your award needs at 304-539-1668. Pitch it to Thomas, and Thomas is taken down.
Yeah, they're going
nowhere to go for Malik Thomas.
Yeah, at this point in time, they're going to have to burn a timeout. I think the clock is stopped because at this point you got 3rd and 11. Now they've wound the clock, so they're really going to need to hustle.
Gilmore awaits the snap. Spinagle applying pressure, and Gilmore throws, and a diving effort made there. Ball falls incomplete, trying to get it into the hands of Cook, who had a big catch earlier in the game at 41 yards.
Yeah, we got a flag, Mark. Let's see what the initial is. It looks like it's against the Warriors. I think we're going to see it on that play.
Yeah, legal formation, so Lincoln County wants to talk it over here. 2:21 remaining in the game.
Well, if you do your little math on the clock, Mark, and they got 2 timeouts, the Warriors do, and they don't convert here, they would get the ball back with very little time left, providing they use 2 plays here and they don't convert. They would get the ball back with less than a minute to go. That'd be an awful big task for the Warriors to have to come up with 2 scores in less than a minute.
And one of the highlights in Lincoln County school history, a state championship in girls softball. Lincoln's been AA, AAA down through the years. 9 plays, 45 yards, 4:15 off the clock. That's what this drive has racked up so far. First ever game for Lincoln County in 2006. They lost to Spring Valley 28-0. That game was played in Hamlin. Next week, we will have Capital and South Charleston. Always a great battle. Tough season for both of those teams. We'll have it for you next week. Our 10th installment of the Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. 4th and 12 for Riverside. McAllister in the game. McAllister will be taken down by Spinagle.
Mark, what Coach Likens did, a gamble. He did a backside blitz, went man coverage in the secondary. Never saw him.
McAllister had that big heave earlier in the game to Cook. Had no chance there. And Lincoln County will take over the football.
We know what Lincoln County's going to do, and I'm sure Riverside knows what Lincoln County going to do.
Lincoln County was a member of the MSAC for many years. Lincoln has not attempted a pass, Jim, and I don't think they're going to start now.
No.
Banks gets the call, and Banks reels off yardage. First ever win for Lincoln County against South Gallia, 27-0. John Shemp was the first head coach. Corey Beck had the program for several years, and Derek Christian took over the program. Derek, one of the all-time greats at St. Albans High School, and then WVU. Then Randy Atkins was the head coach, and now Brad Likens, mentioned in his fourth year. Brad's first season at the helm wasn't an easy season at all because it was the COVID campaign.
Who you can play, where you can play.
And they picked up 4 wins that year, beat Roane County, beat Wayne, beat Chapmanville, and beat Mount View. And lost to Ripley, Doddridge County, Princeton, Independence. It was interesting that season to see who was playing whom, as you just, from week to week, you looked at that map as we did every week for our F&R game.
Just hoping you could play.
Yeah.
You know, your coaches going out there and the kids are going out there. You're talking about a tough year and a lot of adapts.
Oh, my goodness.
The kids trying to adapt to that COVID
and
year.
you as a school administrator know what you went through. And we were able to do 9 out of 10 games that year, and the one game we didn't get to do was a scheduled game between Lincoln County and Point Pleasant. Down in Point Pleasant, Banks gets the call. Riverside makes the stop. Green on the tackle, a hard tackle. And we were in Point Pleasant. We were getting all set to have our game. Crew was getting set up, and the call came that there was a COVID outbreak in Lincoln County, and they were not coming. And it was a little too late to scramble for another game at 4:30 in the afternoon.
You were talking about teams and series, and, some of the longest series, around Parkersburg and Marietta, one of the longest standing series, I think, in West Virginia history in terms of continuous series. But you saw some really odd teams play each other, never played each other before, and it was kind of unique in that respect, but got to get a hats off to those administrators and teams and coaches and athletic directors to try to scheme as much of a year out of that COVID year as they could. So
yeah, because as each season goes, you're trying to build,
right?
And it's hard to build if you're not playing games. So the series teams played in 2007. Riverside won 50-16. That game was played in Hamlin. And then here in Quincy, it was 33-12 in 2021. So they went about 14 years there, did not play. And then 65-12 a season ago.
It's got the injured Warrior down on the field, Mark. I wasn't able to see his number. They're attending to him right now. You see, with the thing that people don't ever see that they think about, you got the Lincoln County training staff out there to assist wherever they can. It's always good to see that sportsmanship from both sides.
Again next week, Riverside at home here with Cabell Midland, and Lincoln County on the road to take on Greenbrier East. Luke Sammons, the head coach at Cabell Midland, young man. He's not a young man anymore. He is still to us, but he's a grown man, no doubt. Father of 4, and his oldest son Mason, backup quarterback there at Cabell Midland, and
enjoying another great season.
Yep, no doubt.
Coach Sammons does a good job. He has a good program and got the kids to buy into it. And that, I've talked to him many times, and he said, "Coach, what's the most important thing?" I said, "Luke, you already know that." Says, "What kind of relationship do you build with your kids?" So,
well, this is tough seeing young man. That is number 19, Andrew Tudor, Jr.
A little bit of a gimp. He's not putting any weight at all, Mark, on that left leg. So
Logan Tudor, his younger brother.
Not sure whether there's an ankle or knee. Kind of hard to tell because he's not really putting any pressure at all. This is in addition to the injury. Now Riverside will call their last timeout of the game here on 3rd down and 4, which really really comes down to, can the Panthers convert on this?
Alex Daugherty, 29 years old, and has been the head coach now for 6 seasons here, and loves what he does. Has loved these kids like their own. Just you want to win games, but you also want to help them grow and develop, be productive members of society through this great game of football, and a lot to be said for that. This Lincoln County program, guided again by a graduate. So Alex, a graduate here at Riverside, and Coach Likens, a graduate of Lincoln County. Not everybody gets to do that.
That's right. What a privilege it is, Mark.
Yeah. So Riverside will go to Greenbrier East next week. Ray Lee is the head coach at Greenbrier East. His great niece is Coco Golf, the U.S. Open tennis champ. Spinagle, not easy to bring down, and Spinagle, I believe, has a first down.
Looks like he's powered his way to get those chains moved.
That's a first down, Panthers.
Which is really
nothing fancy.
No, just straight power football. Mark, you mentioned Greenbrier East earlier. I'd like to, our thoughts and prayers out to Coach Greg Curry, Cub Curry, friend of ours, both of ours. And we got some news that his health has gotten worse, and our thoughts and prayers out to his family and Jim.
Yeah, the lovable Cub.
Oh, he was something.
Coach there with Homer Criddle. Lucas Joe Haim.
There'd be no reason to stop the clock.
Yeah.
Just take a knee for Joe Haim, and 1:21 on his rolling clock. So a couple more snaps, and this should about put this one in the books, barring something catastrophic like a fumble on the exchange.
Now both coaches coming in here, they knew this was a winnable game, and 2-6. And one team's going to leave with that third victory and something to build on, and you just fight for another day. Again, life's not easy, and you learn a lot of lessons in athletics. It's not always going to unfold the way you hope, but the friendships and relationships, representing your communities, a lot to be said for that, a lot of pride in that. And a little discussion here, which we don't need.
Frustration. That's what we're getting, a little frustration.
Yeah.
We don't need any of that.
And the last thing, again, is your coaches, I'm sure they've been telling, and they always tell them each week. It's not like they don't tell them.
Right.
We hear the complaints about teams and say, boy, they're on this. Well, these coaches, we played sports. You and I played this game, and we were told a lot of things. And and the last thing you want to do is get a penalty, get thrown out of the game, then you don't get to play the following game. They got a game to play. But
that's right.
This game is in the books, and the Lincoln County Panthers is a big time win for the program against this Riverside program that has some history in the postseason. And Lincoln County gets it by a final of 13-3. They were down 3-0 on a field goal. They got a defensive touchdown on an interception by their outstanding junior Lucas Joe Haim, and then Joe Haim with an offensive touchdown. And Lincoln County improving to 3-6. Riverside drops to 2-7. And we'll come back with our post-game coverage in just a moment. Present the champions of the game trophy. It's all over our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Eyewitness Sports, Lincoln County 13 and Riverside 3. It's time now for our Big Sandy Superstore big play of the game, and the Lincoln County Panthers trailing 3-0 until Lucas Johane, the junior for the Panthers, picks off the pass and takes it 62 yards for the touchdown, and Lincoln County in front to stay, and the Panthers go on for the victory by a final of 13-3. Lincoln County got 45 yards rushing from Andrew Banks. Johane was 5 of 11 passing, 30 yards. They did not attempt to pass in the second half. Banks had 2 catches for 3 yards. Zach Miller, 1 catch for 19 yards. Bryce Green led the way for Riverside, 17 carries, 114 yards. McAllister had that one pass to Sonny McAllister, 41 yards, and Cook hauled that in. It is time now to join the victorious head coach of the Lincoln County Panthers, Brad Likens, down on the field. And Brad, I talked to you earlier this week, and you said if we can hang around, be in a dogfight, we got a shot at winning this game, and that's exactly what happened. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, and certainly was a dogfight, and I'm proud of these guys. Our defense all night long, man. They battled. Bailed our offense out, and what an awesome dogfight and a win for the Panthers.
Yeah, Coach Likens, I just one quick question for you. It looked like your offensive line, you didn't even try passing the second half. You just felt like you had enough strength up front to run the ball?
Yeah, I knew we needed to work a little bit of clock, and the way our defense was playing, I didn't see any need to try to push the issue. I think we ran one play, tried to throw a little pass out in the flats, and Lucas took off and picked up some yardage, and that was fine. I'm proud of these guys for putting the game away there in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think about the history of your program, Coach. I think this victory right here will rank among one of the best ever.
Yep, this is right up there with them. Anytime we can play a AAA program with these type of kids that Riverside has, and our kids can be victorious, it's a big win for us.
Well, Coach, I was teasing you earlier this week. The last time we tried to have you on Friday Night Rivals was back in 2020, your first season, the COVID game, and you weren't able to come. So tonight your team arrives, and you're victorious, and we have a Champions of the Game trophy to present to you. Congratulations, Coach Likens. There you go.
I'll get that in a minute.
All right, there they are. The Lincoln County Panthers, and again at Big Sandy Superstore, big play of the game, Lucas Johane. Big Sandy Superstore also donates $500 each week to the host school of our Parmar Friday Night Rivals game of the week. Jim Mahan, it was a slobber knocker, if you will. This was a good, hard-fought showdown between these two.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be competitive. Both teams came out, gave it their best shot, and the Panthers came out on top, Mark. What a privilege it was to call with you.
All right, so with the victory, Lincoln County improving to 3-6. They got Greenbrier East next week, and Cabell Midland will invade here to meet up with the Riverside Warriors. And again, next week we've got our 10th installment of the Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Eyewitness Sports as Capital and South Charleston get together. So it was a night in which Riverside took the lead first at 3-0, and then Lincoln County scores the final 13 points of the football game, and they get the win. Jim Mahan, great being with you, my man.
Yes, sir. I've always enjoyed it, Mark. What a great atmosphere for Friday night football.
No doubt about it. So in this 9th installment of FNR, it's Lincoln County winning over Riverside by a final of 13-3. So for Jim Mahan and a great FNR crew, this is Mark Martin. We say so long from Warrior State here in Quincy. We thank you for watching our Parmar Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Eyewitness Sports.